Week 6 Fantasy Football WR rankings and picks featuring Puka Nacua, Odunze, and more. Week 6 of the fantasy football season is here, and wide receivers continue to be the most dynamic, and often most unpredictable, position in the game. With injuries, bye weeks, and breakout stars changing the landscape every Sunday, setting your WR lineup has never required more strategy. This week's slate is packed with intriguing matchups and emerging storylines. From Puka Nacua's consistency in Los Angeles to Odunze's quiet rise in Chicago, there's plenty to dissect for fantasy managers hoping to stay ahead of the curve. Whether you're sitting at 5-0 or trying to claw back from a rough start, Week 6 could make or break your playoff push. Below, we break down the top wide receiver rankings, sleeper picks, and matchup insights for the week, with key notes on who's trending up, who's due for a bounce back, and who might be better left on your bench. 1. Tyreek Hill, Miami Dolphins, vs. Buffalo Bills. Even with minor injury concerns earlier this season, Tyreek Hill remains the gold standard for fantasy wideouts. He's currently leading the league in yards per route run and has scored in 4 of 5 games. The Dolphins face a tough Bills defense in Week 6, but Hill's big playability transcends matchups. Buffalo has allowed the fewest passing yards in the AFC, yet Hill's explosiveness and usage make him matchup-proof. Expect another high-volume outing with at least one long touchdown if Tua Tagovailoa gets protection. Projection: 8 receptions, 110 yards, 1 TD. 2. Justin Jefferson, Minnesota Vikings, vs. Detroit Lions. After a slow Week 5 due to tight coverage and a struggling offense, Jefferson is set for a rebound. The Lions secondary has been inconsistent, allowing multiple 100-yard games to opposing WR1s this year. Minnesota's passing game flows entirely through Jefferson, and is due for a statement performance. Expect the Vikings to pepper him with double-digit targets early and often. Even if the Lions double cover him, Jefferson's route running gives him the edge. Projection: 9 receptions, 125 yards, 1 TD. 3. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Detroit Lions, at Minnesota Vikings. The Sun God continues to be one of the safest fantasy plays in football. His chemistry with Jared Goff and ability to thrive on short to intermediate routes make him a PPR monster. Minnesota's defense ranks near the bottom of the league in passing yards allowed, making this matchup particularly juicy. If the game turns into a shootout, St. Brown could easily post WR1 numbers. Lock him in for elite production. Projection: 10 receptions, 105 yards, 1 TD. 4. Puka Nacua, Los Angeles Rams, at San Francisco 49ers. Few stories in recent fantasy memory compare to the meteoric rise of Puka Nacua. The Rams rookie has become a target magnet for Matthew Stafford, showing maturity and reliability well beyond his years. Even with Cooper Kupp back in the lineup, Nacua continues to earn volume, a testament to his route running precision and football IQ. Facing the 49ers' physical defense will be a challenge, but Nacua's workload keeps him in the WR1 conversation. San Francisco's secondary has been vulnerable to slot-heavy receivers, and the Rams' offensive design ensures Nacua stays heavily involved. Projection: 7 receptions, 88 yards, 1 TD. 5. CD Lamb, Dallas Cowboys, vs. Carolina Panthers. It's been a frustrating few weeks for CD Lamb managers, but Week 6 could bring relief. The Cowboys face a Panthers defense that has allowed the 4th most fantasy points to wide receivers this season. Dak Prescott and the Dallas offense are under pressure to rebound after recent struggles, and feeding Lamb should be a top priority. Expect double-digit targets and red zone opportunities. If Dallas' offensive line holds up, Lamb could finally deliver that 25-plus point fantasy explosion. Projection: 9 receptions, 120 yards, 1 TD. 6. Stefon Diggs, Buffalo Bills, at Miami Dolphins. Diggs remains as consistent as they come. He's recorded at least 80 yards in every game this season and continues to dominate Josh Allen's target share. Miami's defense has tightened up recently, but Diggs has had a history of success against divisional opponents. This matchup has shootout potential, making Diggs a must-start. His volume and chemistry with Allen give him one of the safest floors in fantasy. Projection: 8 receptions, 95 yards, 1 TD. 7. Ja'Marr Chase, Cincinnati Bengals, at Baltimore Ravens. Fantasy managers breathed a sigh of relief after Chase's breakout performance in Week 5, where he reminded everyone why he's a top-tier WR1 when Joe Burrow is healthy. The Ravens secondary has been solid but remains vulnerable against deep routes, which is Chase's bread and butter. If Burrow's calf continues to improve, expect the Bengals' offense to look much sharper. Chase should remain a high-end WR1 with massive upside. Projection: 7 receptions, 115 yards, 1 TD. 8. Rome Odunze, Chicago Bears, at Washington Commanders. It's not often a rookie wideout on a struggling team sneaks into top 10 discussions, but Rome Odunze has forced his way into fantasy relevance. The first-round pick has quietly become a reliable target for Caleb Williams, showing excellent hands and route discipline. Washington's defense has been generous to opposing receivers, and Odunze's increasing snap share suggests another breakout is brewing. While his ceiling may still depend on game flow, his consistency makes him a strong WR2 with WR1 potential. Projection: 6 receptions, 92 yards, 1 TD. 9. A.J. Brown, Philadelphia Eagles, vs. New York Giants. After a few quieter games to start the season, A.J. Brown is heating up. He's averaging over 100 yards per game in his last 3 outings and looks poised for another strong week. The Giants have allowed big plays to outside receivers all year, and Brown's physical style will test their corners. Expect Jalen Hurts to keep looking his way, especially in contested catch situations. Projection: 7 receptions, 108 yards, 1 TD. 10. Chris Olave, New Orleans Saints, vs. Las Vegas Raiders. Olive's season has been a roller coaster, but Week 6 provides a chance for stability. The Raiders' secondary has struggled against speed receivers, and Olive's big play potential remains intact. Derek Carr has been inconsistent, yet his trust in Olive's route running should pay off in this matchup. Fantasy managers should consider him a mid-tier WR1 this week with strong upside if the Saints' offense clicks. Projection: 6 receptions, 101 yards, 1 TD. Sleepers and value plays. Tank Dell, Houston Texans, at Indianapolis Colts. Dell has emerged as a trusted weapon for C.J. Stroud. His speed and ability to separate make him a great WR3 or flex option in PPR leagues. Rashee Rice, Kansas City Chiefs, vs. Denver Broncos. The Chiefs' receiver carousel continues, but Rice's target share is trending up. Denver's defense has allowed the most passing yards per game this season. Jordan Addison, Minnesota Vikings, vs. Detroit Lions. If defenses focus too heavily on Jefferson, Addison could capitalize with a big game. Elijah Moore, Cleveland Browns, vs. Pittsburgh Steelers. With Amari Cooper drawing double coverage, Moore could see increased volume against a shaky Steelers secondary. Who to fade in Week 6? Garrett Wilson, New York Jets, vs. New England Patriots. Until the Jets stabilize their quarterback situation, Wilson's fantasy ceiling remains limited.